This is a Vax Blade 32 volt Pro. Ooh, a professional grade cordless Chinese vacuum cleaner. And it's in for a repair, and it's in for a very common repair. I started with this machine having a completely jammed up brush roll. For those of you who are following along at home, hoping to fix your Dyson. The problem is, I've unseized that brush roll, and it now makes, if I just, a horrible noise when it's turned on, and it's melted itself, something shifted. We need to fix it. I then had an absolute amazing stroke of luck with, and here is the invoice, £14.99. Thank you very much, Adam. I am so far happy with my order, because what Adam sent me, which I didn't really know existed, hence why I ripped the packaging open, thinking that it was just some dirty, disgusting used part chucked in a bag. But no, it is a brand new, I don't think it's genuine, shell for a Vax Blade 32 volt. So all we've got to do is put this onto there, and we would have fixed our problem. Let's have a look. Yes, hello, my vacuum cleaner and Vax chums. How are you today? We even get brand new screws. I do not know if this is just a fluke or not. So, TLDR, and I'll put some pictures up on the screen if I just move away. So, we started with it completely seized up. I took out, on this one, but I'll use this for reference, this screw, which is a left-hand threaded machine screw. So, the other way to the 3 screws that you have to undo there. You don't have to take this side off, but you should. It was all gummed up with hair, picture hopefully here, if I remember. Yeah, bodged that, and, well, literally got it spinning to this degree. What's happened is, this entire cog has melted itself a little bit closer to where the motor will go, and it's all now running off balance, and the brush roll is smashing itself against here somewhere, and you get away with it for a year or so, I guess. But I spoke to the owner, said, look, and I looked on eBay, I didn't clock that this was a brand new part. It's, never being used. It is literally brand new, and I mean, it does say Vax on it as well. I don't know. Who knows? I don't really care. It's fine. It probably did come from the same factory anyway, even if it is hooky stuff. Yeah, so it must be a very common thing to happen. And I thought I'd buy a used part, but it was brand new. And that's why I thought, right, we'll do a video, because it's a Vax Blade. Then, well, let's pretend that you're going to service your Vax, which, unfortunately, if you have hair, which is what the owner of this one does, you'll get quite familiar with these 3 screws here. Yeah, it was the right way round. Let's just tip those out, because we might replace them. Inside of here is a little plastic bush, and that bit might not be a disgusting, horrible, melted mess. If it isn't, carry on. The brush roll should slide out of the machine, and you will need to do this quite regularly. And I'll be honest, it's probably easier than trying to cut the bits of it from there, because you don't get the bits that go under there. So our brush roll is out, and that's all you have to do every month, and it might last a little bit longer. We need to go deeper and remove these 3 screws here, because yeah, we've got to transplant some stuff across. And this is the other side, and will it show the distance between the belt and the motor is so different now that the belt is just doing that as well. That's not helping, but the fact that this has moved means it's now pushing the brush roll and it's catching somewhere else. Right, the next thing we need to do is to remove some more screws, which are pretty much all of the bottom ones, which my drill cannot reach all of. But once you get them all removed, you can turn it back over and remove these 2, oh my goodness, on the top. There hasn't been much screw separation so far. The end cap ones are shorter. These ones are all the same size and all long. So I've removed all of these, so these will now fall apart. You could remove the back ones and be a little bit careful for now. This should unclip. There we go. And here is our first comparison. And yeah, they look, I think it is a genuine Vax part, to be honest. All of the mouldings and the plastic look similar enough for me not to care. So we're going to make a pile for the old stuff. And yeah, here is the innards of our motor. So much more to take apart. We shall remove the screw for the PCB. That is the same size screw as the side bit, so that can come off, and I'm going to have to move a fair few ribbon cables around at the minute, folks. This bit will be loose already. There will be a screw holding the other PCB on, the one that actually does the work. And then this is the funnish part, because I can't remember how to get this bottom hose off now. It's not too difficult either. I think the best thing to do is to remove these screws holding the front on. Oh, that's there. That's handy. Yes. That comes off. Then that all unclips from there. And well, this is the bit that we need to keep. Now, if your hose has gone, this is the point in which you give it a good clean out. Because look, folks, it's doing a Vax. Very, very slowly. It's doing all right. Hang on in there, buddy. Then we need to come over here, take our belt off, if yours still has a belt going with it, and then undo these screws, which will be a machine thread, I do believe. And then our little ickle motor comes out. There we go. This is what we need. The next thing we need, which I may not be able to film, but I hope I can talk you through, is we need to remove the rear wheels, and we need to sort of push these plastic tabs down, which I hate doing. In fact, do we? Because we've got these side by side now. It's definitely the correct part. I wonder if what you should do is get a Dremel or something and cut everything around. What I've managed to do is get some spade terminals, bend all of the tabs just slightly, and in theory it did start to move. You don't want to break any of these unless you then want to go and buy some wheels, which cost more, because unfortunately the wheels is what wears out. There we go. You can see it starting already. Look, the telltale signs of the Chinesium forbidden cocaine. Plastic, blimey, plastic dust. So there is one wheel, and in fact we can celebrate by sticking it straight into the, that was the new chassis, wasn't it? Yeah! Right, I'm going to do the same to the other one, and actually look, we've got another little screwy boy. Wow, a whole set of screws which we may or may not use. Alright, I'm going to do the same on the other side. And it happened. It didn't even make a sound. I think, though, 3 is the bare minimum that you need for it to be absolutely fine. And then, well, we can check it's not blocked, it's not, and proceed to just slide that into there, that onto that. Oh, we need our motor screws. We also should probably do is feed these wires back underneath this bit. It doesn't really have to be very neat either. This is quite a nice little job. As long as it sits vaguely under there, we'll put our motor back into there, rotate it until the screw holes line up. That's not a screw hole, that's a vent hole. There it is. Then what I did was screw down the PCB so I can hold it and give you a nice pausable shot of basically just running the wires back down where they need to go. And that is quite key because the tolerances are quite small. Now, we didn't get a new belt, and well, this belt is okay, luckily. If yours is all stripped out, it's that number, but if you put Vax Blade belt, I think they're all the same for this style head. Certainly on the 2 and 3. So you'll be alright. Right, that's in there. That just needs to be held roughly there. Then we can put our... Look. Ooh. Nice. Very nice indeed. So that can go onto there like so, and you know what, we're just going to use the old screws because I might keep those nice little packets of self-tapping plastic machine screws handy, and if we ever need to drill a little 2mm hole in something to bodge it, it might be quite handy. And there's nothing wrong with these. It's nice to know that you have the option, because if it's gone all rusty and horrible, you don't really have a choice at all. Ow. There we go, whatever, I'll do that in a second, because the next thing we can do is, again, holding that roughly into place, click down our top piece like that, and just make sure it's flush all the way around, make sure that these line up. You saw how relatively easy that was. It's all done. All you have to do now is to take all of the identical screws and put them in the hole. There we go, we are getting there. I've noticed that the quality, which probably isn't going to come through on the camera, the quality on the original sticker is far better and clearer and on a different scale to the quality on this sticker. But I'm long past the point of caring at all. If you know, it could be literally made by anybody. This has a nice bit of tension on here now, so you will not get belt slop. This is now straight and true. We just need to put the end cap back on one side and the brush roll back on the other, which does go in, and just for here I will demonstrate putting the end cap on and spin it freely. Everything should be happy. Then we'll test it. And there we go. One happy boy once more. Hopefully. Is it going to sound terrible? Here we go. Contact. I mean, it's still noisy, but that's the noise it should make. Whoa. Yay. Oh no, I have airlined all this out for them because it was pretty disgusting when it turns up, sadly. And now it can go back to him. And the problem is, the man said, and I have sort of explained it to him and sent him some photos, oh, he cleans the hair out regularly. Why has it done this? Well, sadly, you've got to take the brush roll out, and you've got to do it very, very regularly. The final piece of the is it or isn't it an actual Vax part, there's just a subtle difference somewhere. I mean, that part looks reasonable. There's something there. I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't quite know why they went to the effort of redoing the serial number. They probably would be better off saying that they are not a Vax part and that maybe it has a bit more quality, but I think it's an identical part from an identical factory, and luckily here in 2023, in our consumer-centric organisational world, it's 15 quid delivered to my door. And I don't know really, it was a piece of junk plastic made, but we have used it to repair someone's very expensive investment once more. So I hope this has helped you for anything Vax Floorhead related really, because you know you can go far with this. Comment down below if it has, and until the next vocacious Vax project, I, and possibly part of this old head, will see you soon. Bye bye.